welcome to Geek on Film with your host, Robbie Holmes. Welcome to episode 4 of season 4 of Geek on Film. This week we're going to be talking about 4 films. So we're going to talk about a 2017 film called The Bookshop that I saw at a local library here. We're going to talk about Anemone, which is the new Daniel Day-Lewis film written and directed by his son, Ronan. And then we're going to have a rewatch conversation about No Country for Old Men. Guess what? It's pretty good. And then we're going to talk about The Smashing Machine. All right, so we're starting off with The Bookshop. So I was able to go over to the Tempe Library. They've been running a summer movie series, and they've been choosing films that are on Canopy with the correct license for public display. This one is The Bookshop. It's our friends at IMDb have this as England, 1959. In a small Anglian town, Florence Green decides, against polite but ruthless local opposition, to open a bookshop. It's written by Isabel Coexit and Penelope Fitzgerald, and is directed by Isabel Coexit. I have this movie as 3.5 stars with a heart, just as charming as I expected. Emily Mortimer and Bill Nighy are sweet and fun together. This movie is really adorable. You have a widower who has lost her husband in the war, and after many years realizes what she really would like to do is open a bookshop. So she goes to what they call the Old House and in downtown in this small town, and buys that and lives there, and then renovates it to turn into a bookshop. That is Emily Mortimer's Florence Green. And we come across the very against this high society woman, Violet Garmont, played by Patricia Clarkson, who is fantastic. A woman who really would like to bring what she is calling an arts center to this small town. Let's see. I think the other one I would call out that is really fun in this movie, you have James Lance playing Milo North, who is sort of he's charming. He works for BBC. He is sort of driving poor Florence a little crazy, but is a charmer. And then you have Bill Nighy playing Edmund Brundish, who is a shut-in older gentleman who spends all of his time reading. And eventually they strike up a friendship. Once she opens the bookshop, he sends a note. He becomes a patron. It's a really fun movie. You get great scenes with, there's a young actress, Christine, who's the young girl who ends up helping her at the shop, is played by Honor Knefsey. And I think it's really well written, but she is fantastic. As sort of precocious, funny, smart person who opens up Florence and gets her to embrace sort of her maternal side. And it's really an adorable movie. You should see it. It's on Canopy, like I mentioned. You can also buy it on Amazon or stream it on Amazon Prime. The Amazon purchase is one of the first times in a long time I've had to link to a DVD. Oh, yeah. We're going to jump over to Anemone. Our friends over at IMDb have this as, in northern England, a man heads out on a journey into the woods to reconnect with his estranged hermit brother with whom he shared a complicated past that was altered by life-changing events decades ago. This movie is written by Daniel Day-Lewis and Ronan Day-Lewis and is directed by Ronan Day-Lewis. I have this, and it really pains me to say this, as 2 stars. The movie has some truly beautiful cinematography and locations, some great interactions between 2 great actors. The film is paced very deliberately, I might even say glacial, in its moving the story forward. There's a good story hiding in this 127-minute cut, but I don't think it's the entire runtime. It makes me sad to say that because Daniel Day-Lewis is probably the actor of his generation, but we will call out the fact that there is some pretty amazing individual scenes between Sean Bean playing Jem and Daniel Day-Lewis, who is playing Ray, and they are brothers. And Ray has absconded to the woods and has left his life behind, and Jem goes to find him because there is a problem with Ray's son. Brian, who's played by Samuel Bottomley. So my take on the movie is I can feel these amazing scenes that were written with the idea of having Jem and Ray come to a loggerhead. They are like 2 old bucks that are coming together. And sometimes that is in love, and sometimes that is in anger, and sometimes that is in frustration, and sometimes it is just to exacerbate the other. And there are some amazingly shot scenes. I can think of the beach sequence where there's a fire between the two of them. Daniel Day-Lewis looks like he's carved out of stone. So does Sean Bean. And the conversation they're having there might as well be a battle scene. And it's really well done. It just doesn't work for the whole movie. There is some metaphysical and sort of supernatural components to the movie that I didn't vibe with. And I feel like the movie is long for what it is. And there is some very grimy dialogue that just lost me for a bit. And I don't know. I just didn't love this movie. And I really hate to have to say that, but it was not a movie for me. You should check it out. I think that Ronan has at least a good eye for what's going on here. And I think that if this film was tightened up and was worked a little bit more, it could have been a movie I really enjoyed. So it is in the theaters right now. I was lucky enough to get to see this as an early screening thanks to our friends of the Phoenix Independent Film Meetup. We are on to my rewatch this week. This one is No Country for Old Men. Our friends at IMDb have this as violence and mayhem ensue after a hunter stumbles upon the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong and over $2 million in cash near the Rio Grande. I have this as 5 stars and a heart. Wow, first rewatch in a long time. The film is haunting, smart, sharp, from the script to the cinematography to every single performance. Truly a masterpiece. It's the first time I have revisited a film and upped its grade though this dramatically. I originally had it at 3.5 stars. I also feel like I really did not remember this movie very well. It had been a long time since I saw it. And it was one that just didn't resonate with me the first time I saw it. And I think I have been educated further on how to watch film. And I think that really helped me. I think this is a movie that, upon rewatch, is absolutely either the best film of 2007 or the second best film of 2007. I loved it. I can't believe how good this movie was. And I am so looking forward to purchasing the Criterion 4K the next time that there's a big sale going on so I can show it to my wife. She's never seen this movie or doesn't remember it. And I can't wait to have that experience with her. The performances, we'll jump in real quick. We have Tommy Lee Jones is playing Ed Tom Bell, who is the sheriff. Anton Chigurh is played by Javier Bardem, who is sort of like evil incarnate. Josh Brolin is playing Lewin Moss, who is the unsuspecting hunter veteran who stumbles across a bunch of dead folks out in the desert and finds a bunch of money and is dumb enough to go back and try to give one of them water who is still alive. Woody Harrelson is playing Carson Wells. This is a really like unique and kind of perfect 3-act scene, set of scenes for him to be a part of. He walks in, you understand who he is. There's a full arc for the character. It's very fun. Carly Jean Moss is played by Kelly MacDonald, who is Lewin's wife, and she's great. Garrett Dillahunt is playing Wendell, who is the deputy under Tommy Lee Jones as sheriff. He is really fun. The way that he's written is very almost simple, but he plays it so well. And him and Tommy Lee Jones have such great chemistry. Tess Harper plays Loretta Bell, who is Sheriff Bell's wife. And who else do we need to touch on here? Oh, Stephen Root plays Man Who Hires Wells. There's some really great actors in this movie that are behind the scenes or that are small one-moment scenes. I love this movie. I can't get over how good it is. It is written and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen and Cormac McCarthy. The joke that they had said is that one of them folded the spine and the other one typed the words right out of the book, and is directed by the Coen brothers. You should have seen this movie. If you haven't seen this movie, you should see this movie. You should try to see it as fast as possible. It's amazing. It is currently on Paramount Plus and on Canopy. You can also buy the 4K and stream it over on Amazon. I have links in the show notes. So let's jump over to our main review, Smashing Machine. Smash Machine has our friends at IMDb have the story as the story of a mixed martial arts and UFC champion, Mark Kerr. Is a very straightforward summary. Thank you so much, IMDb, for being a robot. We'll jump over to Letterboxd. I have this movie as 3.5 stars with a heart. A really solid film. Dwayne is pretty great as Mark. Emily has taken on a thankless role here. The level of vulnerability that is on display is impressive. Benny Safdie directs a film that could have been a by-the-numbers film and infused it with emotion and great framing. The shots of Mark in the mirror multiple times are impactful, and the in-ring choices and direction add a huge amount of weight to the film and immediately ground you in the film that you're about to watch. We'll go back. It was written by Benny Safdie, and it was directed by Benny. This movie stars Dwayne Johnson as Mark Kerr and Emily Blunt as Dawn Staples, his girlfriend. Ryan Bader, who is a UFC fighter, plays Mark Coleman, Mark's Kerr's best friend. Baz Rutten plays Baz. He's pretty amazing. Another non-actor. There's so many individual players here that are doing yeoman's work to make this movie feel real. I can't even call out all the pieces. I think the thing I would say is we end up opening this film seeing Mark Kerr become sort of during his first fight, and then sort of his natural ability to be an amazing mixed martial arts fighter, his background in wrestling and his ground and pound nature, his physical stature and dominance over people. You also get to see a little bit of the interiority of the character, how he is very concerned about the first person he fights and how that person might be injured and he wants to go check on him. And that is not put on or is not for show. Mark Kerr seems to be a gentle giant who is constantly trying to live in a world where he is gifted this physique and this drive and this physicality to be able to cause damage to other humans, yet also it has a caring and soft side to him. This movie follows him through all kinds of problems and issues in his life. He has drug issues. He's doing narcotics. He eventually gets clean. His girlfriend is sort of a chaos monkey who is constantly putting him on the ropes, is trying to stop him from working his program. Emily Blunt's character here, I don't know if she is as difficult in the documentary or in real life as this character is here, but boy, she is not a person you have a lot of sympathy for. Even though Mark is problematic and has his own issues, in my opinion, she comes across, Dawn, as a very difficult character to have any empathy or sympathy for. I think the relationship between the Marks is really astounding, and I give a huge amount of credit to Ryan Bader for really infusing that with an intimacy and a connection that makes it feel real. I think that is the thing you can walk away from this. And Baz Rutten, really as his trainer and trying to keep him on the straight and narrow and getting him ready for his next fight, his return, is great. Yeah, I think this movie's good. It really is. I don't know why it is not getting the love that it should be. There are a lot of critics who are, I was listening to some reviews about this movie that talk about things that I don't know are part of the problem. They're describing things like the fact that he always cries and covers his face. Well, you see him cry, I think, 3 times. One is the first time he's crying, which seems like he's overwhelmed. The second is in front of his friend Mark, where he's admitting that he's broken. And the third is where he's overwhelmed, I believe, and Dawn has him on the ropes. And I think every single one of them makes sense for him to cover his face a little shamefully. The first time is him crying because he is not sure how to handle things. The second is because he's admitting he's failed. And the third is the person he cared about the most probably has been causing him the most chaos. I think it's well done. I think there's a real competency and confidence in the shot selection and what Benny is being able to pull across here. I think that some of the shots with the 2-shot angles of him in the mirror and then a second camera capturing the other side of it. I listened to Benny talk about this, and he said he really just said to Dwayne, like, how often have you not been able to let it go? And then he sort of just stepped out of the way. There was a main camera that was sort of mounted that had the mirror angle, and then there was a secondary camera that was floating around, but way out of his periphery. And I just think that he captured something special. I don't know that this is a movie that's going to win a ton of awards. It should get Dwayne Johnson on people's radars as a person who can absolutely play a role of stature and sort of carry a movie. I think the only thing that people are going to complain about is, of course, he is playing a character that is physical and has his physicality as a big part of the character. I think that that is going to hold him back from one or two other new roles where he'll have to prove himself again without the physicality as a main and lead actor. I think he's really good. I think people are going to claim that that is part of what makes this work. And it is. I mean, people just brush off how hard it is to get in the shape that he's in this movie. He is monstrous. He is huge. I don't believe there is anything going on there except for Dwayne. His body is unreal in this movie. And that is part of what makes us believe that he is Mark Kerr. I think the prosthetics on his face, I think his hair, I think all of that works really well. And I heard some critics say that they could not stop seeing Dwayne. And I was like, I don't know what film you're watching. Of course, near the end, when he shaves his head, he's a little bit closer, but the prosthetics on his forehead and how pronounced that is, and his eyebrows and his nose, in my opinion, disappears into this role. Of course, it's Dwayne, but I stopped believing it was Dwayne Johnson and The Rock, and I started believing that it was Mark Kerr in this film. And you should give him a chance. All right, that's it for me this week. I think I'm going to stop it there. I am not sure what the next movie is going to be, but I will keep going on this train. I'm going to keep watching new movies. I'm going to see Tron Ares, I think, on Sunday. That'll probably be the main review on the next movie podcast. I think after that, I am not sure. I did break down a watch list for my wife, which I'm excited about. She's been watching more movies with me and trying to make sure that I take stuff off my watch list and make a combined one. So that way we know what movies we can pull from if we're not sure what we're watching. I'm going to leave us there. Go see movies. Go see The Smash Machine. I can't believe how low it opened. It doesn't deserve that. It is a much better movie than where it opened at. You should give it a chance. Okay. Have a good week. Bye-bye. This has been a Geek on Film